The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and are not those of WKYU-TV, its management, or WKU.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Another live episode of TopperTalk is coming straight at you. Shane, are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm pumped.
Just a quick programming note right off the bat. We are back to our weekly schedule rotation. So every Monday at 6:30, you will see us here. And usually there'll be more of us besides me and Shane here.
But Sean and I are holding it down.
Yeah,
right
we're
now.
holding it down again. So, but yeah, we're back on a weekly schedule. So every Monday at 6:30 here, you can check us out. The last 2 months we've been doing every other week just because it's kind of a slow period in the sports world. But things are going to start picking up, especially here in the next month or so, with football practice and everything. And
It's close. It's almost college football season.
Everybody's getting pumped up for the big game with
ready.
Kentucky. So. Yeah, definitely something to look forward to, and we'll have a lot to talk about for sure. So, Sean Williams here with Shane Bearden holding it down for the next 30 minutes, talking about some good, get you updated on all that Hilltopper sports knowledge. That's what we do, right?
Yep. Just spout knowledge.
That's our job.
That's what we do.
Job description. First off, we'd like to welcome Georgia State, Texas State, and UT Arlington to the Sun Belt Conference.
Yeah.
Give them a golf clap, Shane. Come on. I mean, good job.
Was that loud enough?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, we'll only be with them for a year, so we don't got to worry too much about it.
Of course, this time next year, it's July 1st. So this time next year, we'll actually be in Conference USA.
A year from today.
Yeah, so everybody's kind of pumped up about that. Kind of moving on up, as the Jeffersons would say, to a bigger and better conference. So, but I know Middle Tennessee's kind of making their rounds on the radio, talking about how they're in Conference USA now. So that'll be us in a year. So Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders are right behind you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
don't let them think they're a step ahead of us in anything.
All right. So what do you want to talk about first, man? Well, I say let's talk about Ray Harper. Got a little bit of a raise. Got a bump in pay.
Coach Hurd did too. Don't leave her out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, man.
Well, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun again.
I'm just giving you one topic at a time.
But I can handle a couple topics.
You had a long day.
Harper got a pay bump from $375K a year base salary up to $500,000 a year base salary. So it's a nice little pay bump for Coach Harp. Yeah. I think it's well earned, and it's kind of a sign from the WKU administration that we're going to start inching our way up that pay scale, so that once he hits where everybody thinks he's going to get.
Which would be legendary status.
Yeah. We won't have as far to go to keep him from getting swooped away by somebody, which I don't think he will be anyway. But
it's one of those things too. We've kind of seen it in the past. You've got you had Dennis Felton, Darren
Western
Horn.
waited too long to.
Yeah, you can make the argument for that, and obviously kind of you could say they waited a little bit too long, and then they decided to go to some SEC teams that maybe didn't have a real good basketball tradition and try to kind of make their medal there. And obviously schools like that are going to pay them more.
Right.
So it's nice to see Western Kentucky kind of taking the initiative to
but
kind of keep the talented coach here.
If schools like Gonzaga and VCU and Wichita State and people like that can pay their coaches what they are paying them right now,
exactly.
There's no reason we can't pay them to keep them around. So, that's one of those things. And I know that we've offered coaches quite a bit of money and matched other schools' offers at times. Mm-hmm. But it's just one of those things where, Willie Taggart for one. But it's just one of those things where people, I guess they want to try out something else or something like that. And I think there's a big difference with Coach Harper on that, for the fact that this is where he wants to be. He's got so much family around here and everything else. With Coach Taggart, even though Western was home, his family was in South Florida.
Yeah.
Which is why he went there, even though we matched their offer. I think that's one where I don't think Harper's going to go anywhere.
I think, and also I think it helps to have an athletic director like Todd Stewart.
I agree.
Kind of, I think one of the quotes was, whenever this happened, was they have a fast break mentality, which I liked. I like the basketball analogy used in that comment there. But to kind of keep the ball rolling, give coaches like Ray Harper and Michelle Clark-Hurd the pay raises that they deserve.
And Todd Stewart's going to need a pay raise here too, as well to hold on.
Todd
to
needs
him.
to get paid too, man.
Yep. We'll have Todd on in a couple of weeks. We might ask him about that.
But here's the thing, though. You talk about that. Rewarding Ray Harper for all the good work he's done and everything like that. So it doesn't turn into a Dennis Felton, Darren Horn type situation where they kind of go to an SEC team and just kind of collapse in obscurity because they don't have any basketball tradition at the schools they went to, and it's really hard for them to win at Georgia and South Carolina. Those are just not basketball schools at all, even though they're in a bigger conference. But like I said, it's not all about chasing the money, and I think a lot of coaches out there kind of realize that too. And another good thing we got going for us when it comes to Ray Harper is, like you said, he's from around this area. He likes the object of having family here. He can be around family in a matter of no time.
And he can win here too.
Exactly, yeah. So kudos to him. I mean, I know, there's a few people out there that was wondering if he actually deserved the raise or whatever, just based off his record and everything like that. But, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say he's definitely earned it considering what he did last year with all the injuries and everything like that.
Well, I mean, you think about, even in a down, I guess you could say a downturn in Western's basketball, coming off, the issues we had under Coach McDonald.
What issues, man?
And then all the injuries we suffered last year, for him to still win the conference tournament and still get to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, win one game, come within points of beating, Kansas. I mean, that's just, he's accomplished a lot in a short amount of time, and doesn't even have all his pieces in play yet.
Exactly. It's like you said, kind of glued the team together and still was able to go through the Sun Belt Conference tournament and win 2 conference tournaments while he's been here and make 2 NCAA tournament appearances and win a game in the NCAA tournament as well. So
and Harper's not the only good coach around here. We got Coach Hurd over on the women's side of things. First year comes in here with a lot of the same players and basically turns the team around.
A very depleted roster.
Yeah,
and
that
to
too.
do what she did with she had so many roster spots not available, I mean, it wasn't a complete basketball roster by no means, and to kind of turn that around and turn into a 20-plus win season, I mean, was huge. So definitely deserving for her as well. Yep. And, she's out there doing big things too. One of the things to see improvement in recruiting, and that's one of the things she did. She recruited size this recruiting period.
Right.
So that's definitely something Western needed.
And I think that was the area they were a little short in last year, no pun intended. But
hey now, you'll be here all week.
Yeah,
right?
I'll be here all week. But I'll be back next week too.
Okay, that's great.
But
good to know you're back on that weekly schedule.
Yeah.
Don't forget about us. All right.
She brought in height this time. I think one thing that made Western so good last year is she just had the girls so fired up and playing tenacious all the time. They just never gave up, played hard the entire game. That's a great style of basketball to watch, whether it's men, women, it doesn't matter. When you see a team out there hustling, trapping, going hard the whole time, I mean, that's just fun to watch.
Yeah, like Rick Ross, man. Every day they're hustling.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we both agree definitely well-deserved pay raises for both coaches on that aspect. And kind of moving on with the basketball side of things, let's talk a little bit about A.J. Slaughter's fixing to go down to Orlando Magic and compete in their summer league down there in Orlando. So good things about that. I know we had a little interview with MagicBasketballOnline.com, talking a little bit about getting invited to the camp and everything like that, and kind of being discovered by the Magic. So
the was it assistant general manager was over scouting his teammate from France who got drafted.
He got drafted by the Jazz in the first round. I don't know what pick that was.
He's like a
7'2"
center.
Tall glass of water.
They were scouting him, and the Magic noticed AJ out there running the point, and were impressed. Invited him to come try out.
You're supposed to turn that off before the show.
I thought it was turned off.
Man.
And they invited him in, and
you're going to jail again for that.
Man. But he impressed them enough that they offered him a summer roster spot, and he's going to try his best to make the team as a point guard.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, Slaughter's kind of a tall point guard, 6'3". But obviously in the article
he's got the speed.
It talks about how he's improved his scoring and his three-point shooting, and obviously has a high assist ratio too in his 3 years overseas playing professional basketball. So he's definitely shown a lot of improvement in his game playing overseas, and it's good to see him get a shot in the summer league and hopefully get a roster spot. I mean, that's his ultimate goal. So, the thing about that too, and I'll kind of bring up a point. I mean, if he goes through the summer league, what if he gets an invite to their D League camp or something like that and plays in the D League?
Another team could even see his skills and offer him a roster spot as well. So there's a lot of positives for him playing in the summer league. He kind of compared himself to a C.J. Watson type of point guard, and I think that's a good comparison. And C.J., he's made a living with the Jazz, and Jeremy Evans throwing lobs to Jeremy Evans. So
that's always easy, man.
that is an easy job.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, every player's ultimate dream, regardless of whether they play overseas or not, is to make an NBA roster.
Right.
No matter what. So it's obviously good to see AJ living out his dream, trying to make that happen. Everything. The summer league start July 7th. So if you got that obscure NBA TV channel out there, you can catch all those summer league games. I thought you did. You got all those soccer channels too.
Yeah,
right?
I got all those things.
Yeah, okay. You rock that out, man.
But I'm gonna try to catch some of his games, and I'll try to report back here, see how he's doing.
Okay, you're the NBA TV summer league.
We'll go with that.
Analyst. Okay. Nice. All right, I like it.
And we have a question from Tim Kicker, wanting to know if there's any updates on any of the new guys or any pickup games going on. They do scrimmage. They're scrimmaging about 4 days a week right now. It is just summer scrimmages. They're not given a whole lot of time together with the coaches. But I haven't really had a chance to get out there much and watch them.
I haven't either.
But I do know, the new guys are there. They're all participating. Everybody's working hard in the summer. We've talked to Coach Boyden about that. Mm-hmm. He said everybody's there working hard.
They've been posting some Vine videos.
They have. They've been posting some videos on Vine.
Doing some weird stuff with some dumbbells, man.
And we have a lot of the former Toppers that are now playing pro ball have been, on campus and working out with them as well, with Jeremy Evans, Pettigrew, Slaughter, Tyrone Brazelton. They've all been in town and working out with the guys, and it's good to have former Toppers coming in and still being a part of the program and showing their love for the university.
Hanging out and especially hanging out with the new guys on the roster and everything like that.
Too. That helps with recruiting too, especially with camp that was going on. Mm-hmm. They had camp going this past week, and having those professional players come back in. With all these kids at camp, it really shows, that you can go pro playing at Western, and I think that can be a big recruiting selling point.
Yeah. I mean, you got, like I said, NBA and professional players coming back here and hanging out and, talking to everybody, so kind of giving them some good pointers out there. So definitely big things. We haven't been out there to check out any pickup games, but I'm sure they're going really well, and I'm sure everybody's pretty excited to see all the new guys out there, the new faces and everything, and see the athleticism of the team. So, but anyway, moving on. Let's do some preseason rankings. Of course, football is just around the corner. Got a few preseason rankings quips I'll let people know about. And
Underranked.
Preseason rankings, take them for what it's worth.
Yeah,
a lot of people base that off last year's results and things like that, and kind of form their own opinion, especially when it comes to the Sun Belt Conference. Not a lot of these national.
They just do Google search research and.
Hey, man, nothing wrong with that. But anyway, Athlon, here's an interesting quip. Athlon ranked the Petrino hire to Western Kentucky as the best hire in 2013. So I'm pretty sure that's probably a good across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a heck of a deal for Western to get a coach like Petrino and to get him, with the salary we got him at.
Exactly, and the contract we got him under and everything. Another win for Todd Stewart.
Yeah. There you go. Cha-ching, we're just going to add a tally list. We'll just have like a big board back here.
We're just going to start marking
Todd Stewart wins.
Todd Stewart.
Also, CBSSports.com actually lists Andrew Jackson as the number one inside linebacker for the 2014 NFL Draft.
And I've actually seen a couple other publications. I think it was NFLDraft.net and a couple other places that listed Jackson as the number one linebacker for next year's draft. So I think he's going to have to come out with the same fire he has the last 2 years. But if he does, look for him to go high.
Yeah, and you also the same list, they list Antonio Andrews as the 8th best running back for the 2014 NFL Draft. So I
think that could even be. I think he's underrated there.
You can kind of make that a little bit higher. You see as far as preseason All-American teams or All-Conference teams and things like that, you usually see Andrew Jackson, Antonio Andrews listed, and Jonathan Dowling as well. They're getting some good preseason pub just because of their accolades, what they've already done, and what's expected of them this year as well.
I've seen some stuff on Twitter where ESPN and CBS analysts and stuff have talked about Andrews and Jackson, and both saying for some of the best players that don't play in a AQ conference, watch out for those two guys.
Yeah. It's always good to get players like
Yeah,
that.
it's
You
just-
get that preseason recognition, and people kind of know the name Western Kentucky, and like I said, kids see that and they're like, hey, good development there, and it's another kind of recruiting tool to use as well. Some of the other things you kind of get with preseason rankings, I've noticed we're kind of like in that 75, 60. I've seen us ranked as high as 67 according to the Orlando Sentinel,
Yeah.
which is a little bit better. I mean, we're getting some
We've gone
better
up every
preseason
year.
hype every year. Yeah. What were we last year? About like
I think we were
70
something.
Okay,
last year.
70 something,
Yeah.
low 70s. So getting a little bit more hype on that just because of the success we've had as a program, and then
And,
of course
you
you're
know,
doing
let's just keep rising up the ranks. I'm
Yeah,
fine with that.
that's
But,
cool with me, man.
I think people are severely doubting this year's team in a lot of aspects. I mean, across the board, we're getting mostly picked to finish third or fourth in the conference.
Yeah.
Um,
They always got Lafayette or
they
Monroe
got
ahead of us.
most publications have Lafayette winning,
Yeah.
and then interchangeable with Louisiana Monroe and Arkansas State for
Yeah.
second and third. But Sporting Times actually picked us to win the conference. They're the one so far that has picked Western to
Much
to
love,
win
Sporting Times.
it. Yeah.
At least they know what they're talking about. Right?
Yeah.
It's fine. But there are a lot of question marks, as there is with any team whenever you go into a new season. Ours would be defensive line and the quarterback position.
Exactly.
But I think with Petrino and Brom, I think they'll have that quarterback position pretty cinched up.
I think
Whoever's
so.
supposed to be there.
A lot of those publications talk about the loss of Jakes because of all the records he set while he was
Yeah.
at Western. But,
Good
they didn't take into account a lot of the things where, before Jakes got here, before Taggart got here, we ran a lot of triple options and run attacks from the quarterback position and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's not like we ever had, a real passing attack-oriented offense.
Are you saying that if you started 4 years, you would break passing records at Western?
I wouldn't.
Okay. Just checking.
But, I'm not even going to go there.
All right, we're going to move on. We'll talk about a big commitment day for Western Kentucky football. Actually, it happened last Wednesday. They had 4 recruits.
Bingo.
4 commits. 4 recruits made their verbal commits to Western Kentucky, and that makes 6 total for us for the 2014 class. Pretty wild day. It all just kind of happened in one day, so it's kind of odd to see that. But it all started out with Messiah White. He's a linebacker out of Collins High School. All these are in-state kids, but a good linebacker. He's one of those kids that came down for a football camp. Did really well, and the coaches offered him a scholarship just a couple weeks ago, and then of course 2 weeks later
Western's offered 150 plus scholarships right now.
at least. Yeah, so
But I think a lot of schools do that. Not named Alabama
yeah, they
or
do. They do.
whatever.
Well,
but
Alabama they offer 13-year-olds. So,
Yeah.
I mean they're
well, I
that
guess
legit.
that's true. But all these kids we've signed so far, aside from
We haven't signed them. They're committed.
that have
Gotta get
committed
that-
so
yeah,
far.
Gotta
I
get that
apologize.
jargon right, man.
He
get us in trouble,
aside from the kid from Florida, they're all
In-state kids.
two-star recruits, all in-state kids, 2-star, 3-star, depending on what
Yeah.
what
whatever.
publication
Star
you look at.
systems.
Um,
You're a star, Shane.
I'm a star. Okay.
Yeah. 3-star.
But I think it's great we're getting a lock on that in-state recruiting.
Yeah.
That's
And you see that with Western too. You get, all these kids were in-state recruits. Probably not looked at a whole lot by Kentucky or Louisville and things like that. But I mean, we're Western Kentucky. We're in the Sun Belt Conference, so we take kind of the cream of the crop that Kentucky and Louisville's not looking at.
well,
Heavily,
I mean,
so.
a couple of these kids were being recruited by Kentucky and Louisville,
yeah,
though.
they were
I
showing
mean,
some interest.
it's-
So
it's
I mean,
one
you
of
can
those-
take Nicarius Fant for example.
Yeah.
He's being looked at by Kentucky and Louisville. So
and a lot of other people.
yeah, and a lot of other people. So
But I think it's good that we're getting these in-state kids. You got to recruit your home state first, and if your name gets around the state, that can only help things
yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Especially with the top prospects in the state. And Kentucky high school football has come a long way from what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's constantly D1 prospects all over the state now, as opposed to in previous years. It's starting to the talent level across the state and high school is starting to really come up.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. I mean, just to kind of continue on with the list, we have Ryan Duvall from Apollo, kind of a linebacker, actually been Duvall's younger brother, so
Right.
there's a connection right there. Derek Overstreet, defensive end from Paducah Tillman, and also I think the big one of the day was DeAndre Ferris, the athlete from Collins High School.
He's quick.
Super fast, 4.43 speed. Kind of reminds you, kind of throw him in that Bobby Rainey type category because he had close to 1,000 yards rushing and receiving. And he's also a dangerous kick returner as well in the special teams game. So I think that was probably the biggest get for Western Kentucky that on Wednesday. So definitely a huge day for commitments, and we're up to 6 for 2014. And like I said, they're all verbals right now, so we'll see if they'll stick until signing day. So
And while we're talking about commitments and possibly new additions to the football team, there's some rumors floating around about a former Auburn Tiger that
national championship.
Auburn Tiger that might be joining the Hilltoppers team.
Yeah, this actually just came out today. Michael Dyer, for you guys that don't know, former running back at Auburn, won the national title back in, I don't know what year it was, but with Cam Newton and the Auburn Tigers against Oregon, and that was his freshman year, had a big freshman year, had some big runs in that game too. Obviously, ran into some trouble, had some gun issues and some marijuana issues and things like that. Ended up going to Arkansas State, kind of ran into some more trouble there. Kind of followed Gus Malzahn there whenever he went to Arkansas State. Ran into some trouble there, got kicked off the team before he even got onto the field. And he's kind of been rehabilitating himself at Arkansas Baptist in the past year.
Just focusing on school and
stuff.
Yeah,
not participating in any football, just focusing on school and classes and everything like that. And ESPN article came out today that he's actually looking to get back in Division I football. And it's going to be hard for him, at least, obviously no big-time BCS programs are really looking at him just because of his past and everything like that. It's going to be hard for them to take a chance on somebody like that. So obviously, but I mean, he in the quotes he said, he's changed himself. Got rid of the marijuana, got rid of the weapons and everything like that. Said he was kind of young and stupid, and was just looking for a second chance. And it seems like he's took responsibility for his actions and everything like that. So, but you read the article and everything, and probably the next to last paragraph, it mentions the schools that have been in contact with him, and one of those schools is Western Kentucky. So
the other two are Troy and Illinois State.
Yeah. So. It'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. And, another thing to kind of consider when it comes to Dyer is, he's available to play immediately, and he'll have 2 years remaining of eligibility. So be interesting to see. That'd be kind of we're already deep at running back, but, I mean, that would be definitely a dynamic backfield with him and Antonio Andrews in the backfield.
And then you got Keyshawn Simpson and Leon Allen, and I mean, you just have all kinds of weapons to throw at opposing defenses.
We'd have definitely probably the best depth chart in running back probably in college football.
I would say so.
But be interesting to see how that plays out. That's, like I said, we're one of the 3 schools that he said has been in contact with. So, we'll definitely see what goes on there. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, but, you get somebody that does have, no doubt, the talent and has won a national title with Auburn. So, I mean, it's something you don't really get every day in a Sun Belt team. So, be interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously, news will probably happen here pretty soon because obviously he's going to have to enroll and get started in fall camp. So, be interesting to see how that plays out. So, we'll see.
What do y'all think about Michael Dyer? You can tweet us in at TopperTalk TV. Let us know your opinion, and we might read out some tweets on there.
Holler at us. And by the way, I mean, are you pretty comfy right now?
I am.
Yeah.
I feel like these chairs are nice.
Yeah, they are. They are. I like them too, man. You know why I like them?
Because the Jasper Group provided them?
Exactly. They hooked us up again. Always here. Got our Jasper Group stuff going on, so we definitely appreciate that. And mad shout out to them for providing us with all this cool gear here and tables and chairs to sit on, and we can do our show in nice, comfortable fashion. So, what else? Let's see. Let's talk real quick about our incoming offensive lineman. Freshman that's ruled academically ineligible, Joe Fennell. He was actually one of the most decorated recruits for the 2013 class.
He was a highly touted 3-star recruit. He had big size. A lot of people thought, he was going to, really make an impact at the next level and that he could possibly make an impact early. But he wasn't able to qualify academically, so move on from there.
The thing with him is you kind of it's almost you could kind of see the writing on the wall with him, just because he originally committed to Western whenever Taggart was here, and then kind of followed Taggart and the staff to South Florida, kind of flipped to South Florida,
and then recommitted back to
yeah,
Western.
But an article down in Tampa kind of came back when he reflipped to Western whenever Petrino was here, is that, the reason he reflipped is because he was probably not going to get into school down there at South Florida, so that kind of raised some question marks. So obviously he probably had a better shot to get in school here, but obviously it didn't work out for him, so he's going to go the JUCO route. Obviously it kind of hurts to kind of lose a commit like that, because like I said, he's probably the most decorated out of the 2013 class. But you see things like this happen with recruiting classes. Some kids don't qualify academically, and he's going to go the JUCO route,
right.
and hopefully he'll get a second chance to play Division I football. So shout out to him. We wish him nothing but the best. Like I said, it happens. So he's obviously going to take the right steps to get himself where he needs to be, and hopefully get back to Division I football. So
and Petrino brought in tons of offensive linemen, so we don't have to worry about the depth there being an issue either.
All right, Shane.
I'm just saying.
All right, Shane, you got anything else to add? We got about 3 minutes left. I know you wanted to kind of talk about Claire Donahue.
Claire Donahue competed in a regional qualifier for the World Championships, or a national qualifier, I guess it is.
Okay. I'm with you on that.
She was in the 100-meter butterfly. She finished second behind Dana Vollmer. So Claire Donahue has punched her ticket to the World Championships.
Awesome.
In Barcelona.
Cool deal.
So she'll be heading there representing WKU once again.
Sounds good. Dana Vollmer, I know she's probably, I think she's
She's
rated
about
the
the
best.
best.
Yeah. So it's always, hey, finish second to the best in the world, swimmer in the world in that
She's gold
that
medalist.
class. So yeah, that's definitely a good thing for Claire Donahue. And do you have anything else? I thought you had another update.
What, Kenny Perry winning his won his first major ever. In the past he's always kind of struggled down the stretch in those majors. But he finally closed one out on the senior PGA tour, and another WKU alumni doing big things.
Yep, there you go. And Shane, why are you wearing a blue shirt tonight?
Because of Conference USA. It kind of looks a little Conference USA-ish, doesn't it?
I don't see the logo.
Well, it's not there yet. We got to wait another year for that.
So we got to, everybody's talking about middles down there doing their publicity about Conference USA. So I think it'd be kind of refreshing for us to be able to do that in a year. What'd you say?
I agree. I'm excited about the potential for rivals in Conference USA. In the Sun Belt, we really only had middle. Western never really was able to get a rivalry with anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to be with some more like-minded institutions that put the time and money into all their sports as opposed to just a couple. But
would you mind to specify on that? No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
I mean, I can. Okay. I only got to hear from them for another year.
Okay.
But schools like UAB and Old Dominion, Marshall being close by, Charlotte. Some of the schools from our past, that we'll get to play in basketball. I think Conference USA is far and away better than the Sun Belt is now or has been the last couple years. Yeah,
definitely. And you look at the football aspect too. You got 6 bowl games you can go to. So
7 right now.
Yeah. It keeps expanding. So.
And at 14 teams, they pretty much say that they're going to try to stay at 7 bowl games. Conference USA is actually looking at a couple more bowl tie-ins right now that they're trying to get. So that's always expanding, and I think we'll stand a better chance to make a bowl game and don't have to worry about all that.
All right, guys, we're winding down. Don't forget, we're back again next week. Same Topper Talk time, same Topper Talk channel.
Go
Peace.
Top.
Programming is brought to you in part by Wendy's, now offering new menu items such as the new Asiago Ranch and Smoky Honey Mustard Flatbreads with grilled chicken at participating Wendy's locations.
On the next edition of Main Street, we'll introduce you to 3 groups that rescue, restore, and rehabilitate wild animals in Kentucky. Join us for a trip into the wild with the Primate Rescue Center in central Kentucky. Then we'll visit Western Kentucky's Land Between the Lakes Elk and Bison Prairie and Woodlands Nature Station. We'll meet the people of Raptor Rehab of Kentucky as they rescue and release birds of prey. Join us for Main Street Into the Wild.